What's going on, folks? It's your boy Sketch. I'm here in the Kia EV6. This is a GT line. I'm going to show you a few of the adaptive cruise control, highway driving assist, and lane centering features that are available in this vehicle and many other Hyundai Kia Group vehicles. You've got a handful of related features in this group. Adaptive cruise control, which keeps you at a certain distance from a vehicle in front. Lane centering, which keeps you centered in your lane, and highway drive assist, or HDA, which is a combination of those two plus a few extra features. So to use these features, these are the main three buttons and the main switch you need. This is your cruise control button, this is your lane centering button, this is your distance selection button, and this is up and down for speed, and also your pause and resume by touching it. Pushing it in, I should say. Now, when you're not on the freeway, you can turn on adaptive cruise with the cruise button here, and it will not activate lane centering automatically. You can do that by also pressing this button. But these are controlled independently. And now even on a surface street, it will keep the speed and it'll keep the distance and match the speed to the car in front of you. You can use these independently of each other. If you want to change lanes, just pop your signal on. Lane centering will temporarily disengage. Once you get your new lane, lane centering re-engages again. Simple. You can activate adaptive cruise as long as you're moving, and it'll slow down for what it detects. It'll come all the way down to 0. A difference between adaptive cruise and HDA is that when you're not in HDA, you need to use the switch or the pedal to tell it when to go. The reason for this is so you don't end up going at a red light when the car in front of you turns right on red. It'll let you know leading vehicle is driving away, so just tap the pedal or use the switch here to let it know to resume. And I've done that with the pedal now. So again, with lane centering and adaptive cruise, you can do that here on a regular surface street just like you can on the freeway. What you don't have in this context is the lane change assist feature or the scooching feature. So you can use auto steer or lane centering, alright, without using adaptive cruise. Just press that button there. You'll see the little indicator. Once it goes green, that means it's working. So in this mode, the car will trace the lane even without adaptive cruise on. And that can happen independently of cruise control. Let's see. Now, even if that's off, you can use it on the highway. You can turn it off. Now again, you can use the lane centering feature without adaptive cruise control, and it will keep the lane for you. And this works off a freeway or on just the same. You can see it tracing the lane here. Although this is an assist technology, it's quite capable. But one thing to know is that if it loses the lane lines, it will just let go without much warning. It will sometimes warn you like this when it's losing confidence, but I wouldn't rely on that. Once you activate your turn signal, if you're not on a freeway at least, the lane centering will stay on but not active. It'll go gray and it will not keep the lane because it assumes you're trying to either turn or change lanes. But once you complete your turn and it sees the lane again, it may reactivate. Yep, there it is. If you're on a freeway and you press the cruise control button here, that'll turn on HDA, which also automatically turns on lane centering, as you can see with the steering wheel icon. This will follow the car in front and will trace the lane. If you have HDA2, your lane change assist can be activated by simply using the turn signal. This will look for an opportunity, and when it finds one, it will do the lane change for you. Now, without lane change assist, you could simply change lanes yourself by steering, and it will resume auto steer when you get back into the lane, or when you get into the lane to which you've changed. Now you can turn off HDA and auto steer will stay on. This will keep your lane even as you're maintaining your own speed. See, when a car gets in front, it'll automatically slow down and keep your distance. This button is for your distance control. You can see the icon here with two little dots. You can go from 4 to 2 to 1, of course. So 1 will keep you as close as it'll let you go, but 4 will back way off, and 3 and 2 are in the middle. Now once you get off of a mapped freeway, it'll keep the adaptive cruise on. HDA will automatically deactivate, but you'll still be using adaptive cruise control and lane centering. They don't just shut off or anything. One neat setting is the speed limit assist. You can set this in the settings with an offset. If you activate adaptive cruise or HDA, it activates at the speed you're currently going. But see this little plus, I can use the switch and it automatically changes to the speed limit plus any offset you may have set. So my offset is set to 5 miles an hour. So when I hit that, it automatically set to 45. And finally, there's a little hidden feature in this whole cruise, adaptive cruise, etc. setup that isn't actually really a cruise control feature, but kind of fits, right? So if you prefer to drive yourself, maintain your own speed, but you want to make sure you don't go too fast, you can actually hold this down and it puts the speed limiter on, right? And so this is not cruise control, but it allows you to set a limit that the car won't allow you to exceed unless you absolutely floor it, and that would be useful in case of an emergency, right? But as soon as you floor it, if you lower the limit, if you're over the limit at all, they'll start bonging at you and gradually reduce your speed until you're under the limit again. And that speed limit assist feature works just the same when you're using the speed limiter function. You can turn it off by pressing the button again. It's a nice feature to have if you're driving around a neighborhood or something like that and you want to keep things safe and slow. Now, even when your lane centering is off, the car does still have lane keep assist. The difference between lane keep assist and lane centering is lane centering will actively keep you in the center of the lane. Lane keep assist only reacts if it detects you're going over the line and kind of bounce you back in. Now, these lines are not good enough for it to even work. Lane keep assist is only active when the green light lights up and you can see the lines. So if I hit this lane, it'll start flashing and the steering wheel is actually kind of pushing me back into the lane. Just like the lane centering, it really relies on a good painted set of lines, and these lines are not that well painted here, so it doesn't work all the time. Although one notable difference is that lane centering can, to some extent, follow a car in front of you as well. For the most part, it relies on these lines to be well painted. See, this freshly paved and painted road works fine.